Before you celebrate Valentine's Day, listen to this powerful story about what true love really means. In the heart of West Africa, where rolling green hills melted into vast golden savannas and ancient baobab trees stood like silent witnesses to time, there existed a village bound tightly by tradition, rhythm, and story. Life there was not rushed. It unfolded like a carefully told tale passed from one generation to the next. At sunrise, women sang as they swept their courtyards. Children chased goats along narrow paths of red earth, and craftsmen shaped history with patient hands. Every mask carved, every drum stretched with cured hide, every woven cloth dyed in deep indigo carried meaning beyond its surface. The people believed their ancestors were never truly gone. They watched from the spirit world, guiding the living through whispers carried by the wind and signs hidden in everyday moments. Among these villagers lived Oba, a young man known not for wealth or status, but for his steady kindness and quiet resilience. His hands were strong from carving wood beside his father since childhood. While other boys raced across the fields, Oba often chose to sit in the workshop, studying the curves and lines emerging from blocks of timber. The masks his family created were more than decorative art. They were sacred vessels of memory and identity. Some represented fearless warriors who defended the land generations ago. Others symbolized harvest spirits who blessed the crops during seasons of abundance. Each mask required patience, discipline, humility, and a deep respect for tradition. But times were changing. Trade routes shifted and foreign goods flooded nearby markets. Machine-made crafts, cheaper and faster to produce, began replacing the handmade treasures of the village. Fewer buyers valued the stories carved into Abba's family masks. The once lively workshop filled with a rhythmic scrape of carving. Knives and the warm laughter of customers grew quiet. The scent of freshly cut timber still lingered, but coins became scarce and uncertainty settled like dust upon unused tools. Abba saw the worry in his father's eyes, though he tried to hide it. Poverty was not loud. It crept in silently, yet hardship did not make Abba bitter. It made him thoughtful. He rose each day before dawn, offering silent gratitude for breath and strength. He helped elders repair fences damaged by wind, carried heavy water jars for widows, and taught younger boys how to hold carving knives safely so they would not injure themselves. In a world slowly shifting toward material ambition, Abba remained, rooted in character. He believed that even if fortune left, integrity must remain. And then there was Amara. Amara moved through the village, like morning light, gentle yet impossible to ignore. Her intelligence shone brighter than her beauty, though many noticed both. She asked questions others were too shy to voice. She listened carefully to elders' stories and remembered every detail, sometimes even correcting forgotten parts with respectful confidence. Children adored her because she spoke to them with patience and respect, never dismissing their curiosity. She understood herbs and healing, often assisting the village healer in grinding leaves and preparing remedies for fevers and wounds. When she smiled, it felt sincere, never practiced, never strategic. Many young men admired her openly. They competed loudly for her attention, boasting of future plans and exaggerated achievements. Some promised grand houses. Others spoke of trading journeys beyond the horizon. But Amara valued depth over display. She had watched enough empty promises dissolve like mist beneath the sun. She believed love was proven through consistency, not charm. Through action, not applause. As Valentine's Day approached, excitement built throughout the village. Unlike distant cities where affection was wrapped in paper and ribbon, here it was tested through ritual and symbolism. The elders declared that once again, the quest of the Umoya blossom would determine which suitor truly understood the weight of love. The umoya blossom was said to represent breath itself, the essence of life and sincerity. It bloomed only once a year deep within the sacred forest, guarded by unseen forces that allowed passage only to hearts free of selfish intent. Drums echoed at dusk as preparations began. Women prepared colorful garments dyed with crushed berries and tree bark. Men repaired pathways leading to the ceremonial grounds, clearing stones and smoothing the earth. Children gathered around evening fires to hear stories of past quests, tales of bravery, foolish pride, humility, and transformation. It was understood by all that the journey mattered more than the prize. The blossom was only a symbol. The true test lay within. Tay, the wealthy trader, arrived in dramatic fashion days before the ceremony. His caravan of goods dazzled villagers unused to such extravagance. Polished bracelets shimmered in the sunlight, embroidered fabrics glowed. In rich colors, fine sandals lined neatly in rows, and spices from distant lands filled the air with unfamiliar aromas. He spoke confidently about expanding trade, building larger homes, and bringing prosperity and modern comforts to the village. Some elders nodded thoughtfully, considering the possibilities. Others remained quiet, observing not the shine of his offerings but the pride beneath his tone. Abba watched from a distance. Comparison gnawed at him like a persistent whisper. What could he possibly offer beside devotion and calloused hands? That night, beneath a sky heavy with stars, he confessed his fear to his mother. She listened without interruption, her silver-threaded hair catching the moonlight. When he finished, she placed her hand over his. "My son," she said gently, "a person who measures themselves against gold will always feel small. Measure yourself against truth instead. If your heart is steady, no storm can shame it." Those words settled deep within him like roots anchoring into soil. Before the first rooster crowed on the day of the quest, Abba stepped into the forest. Mist wrapped around him like an initiation cloak. The forest was alive with chirping. Insects, rustling leaves, distant animal calls, and something deeper, something ancient and watchful. Legends spoke of spirits who tested intention. Many who entered seeking glory or pride became lost in circles of confusion, wandering until exhaustion forced them home empty-handed. The first trial came sooner than expected. He reached a clearing where whispers seemed to surround him, though no one was visible. Voices mocked his poverty. "She will choose comfort," they murmured. "You cannot compete." His heart pounded, doubt rising like smoke. Memories of Tay's shining gifts flashed before him. But then he remembered the countless mornings he saw Amara helping elders without recognition. He remembered her thoughtful questions about purpose and legacy. He steadied himself and replied softly, "Love is not a competition. It is a commitment." The whispers faded into silence. Deeper still, he encountered the river of mirrors. Its surface shimmered unnaturally, reflecting not the present, but possible future shaped by fear. In one vision, he saw himself returning empty-handed, ashamed before the village. In another, he saw Amara leaving draped in wealth beside Tay, her laughter distant and unreachable. His chest tightened painfully. For a fleeting moment, he considered turning back, saving himself from humiliation. But courage, he realized, is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward despite it. He stepped into the river. The illusions fractured like glass, dissolving into ordinary ripples. Hours passed. Hunger tugged at him. Sweat clung to his brow. Branches scratched his arms. Yet he continued until he reached the heart of the forest, where sunlight pierced through the canopy in radiant golden beams. There, resting in a cradle of ancient roots, bloomed the umoya blossom. Its petals shimmered in shades of violet and amber, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. Before he could approach, a majestic black leopard emerged from the shadows silent. powerful, eyes glowing like molten gold. It circled him slowly, each step deliberate. Oba did not draw his knife. He understood this was not an enemy to defeat, but a guardian to respect. Lowering himself to his knees, he spoke plainly. He did not offer rehearsed poetry. He spoke of partnership, of shared burdens, of laughter during hardship, of building a future with patience and resilience. He admitted his fears openly. The leopard studied him deeply, then stepped aside. Oba approached the blossom with reverence, selecting one bloom carefully. As he held it, warmth traveled through him, not triumph, but peace. He understood then that the forest had tested not his strength, but his sincerity. By the time he returned, the village had gathered. Drums thundered. In anticipation, Tay presented his luxurious offerings first, confident in applause. Gasps followed his display, yet beneath the admiration lingered a question: was wealth enough? Then Oba stepped forward, dusty and weary, holding only the single luminous flower. Silence enveloped the crowd. He knelt before Amara and spoke not of conquest, but of commitment. "I cannot promise ease," he said honestly, "but I promise presence. I promise effort. I promise that your dreams will matter as much as mine, and that I will stand beside you in drought and in harvest." Amara's eyes shimmered with tears. She had watched the forest's edge all day, feeling the weight of his journey in her heart. In his tired stance, she saw strength. In his quiet voice, she heard truth. She placed her hand in his dot, the drums erupted. Cheers rose like birds taking flight. Even some who had favored Tay felt their hearts stirred by the authenticity before them, but the story did not end there. Marriage brought seasons of testing. Drought threatened crops. Markets fluctuated unpredictably. There were disagreements and moments of exhaustion. Yet each time hardship arose, they remembered the forest. They remembered the river of mirrors, and how doubt nearly stole courage. They faced problems side by side, never as opponents. Amara's intelligence breathed new life into the mask-making craft. She organized storytelling gatherings where buyers learned the spiritual meaning behind each carving. Oba experimented with designs that honored tradition while welcoming subtle innovation. Slowly, respect and prosperity returned, not sudden riches but steady growth built with dignity. Years passed. Children filled their home with laughter. The pressed umoya blossom hung framed upon their wall, a constant reminder that love is chosen. Daily, not just declared once. And every Valentine's Day, as drums echoed beneath the baobab tree, elders retold the tale of Oba and Amara, not as a fairy tale of perfection, but as a testament to courage, humility, partnership, and devotion. Young listeners learned that love is not proven by glittering gifts or dramatic promises. It is proven in forests walked alone, in fears faced honestly, in sacrifices made quietly, and in hands held firmly during storms. So as Valentine's Day approaches, remember this. True love demands bravery. It asks you to step into uncertainty with integrity. It asks you to offer your authentic self, even when comparison whispers that you are not enough. Wealth may attract attention, beauty may capture admiration, but only sincerity builds legacy. And the most powerful gift you will ever give is your true heart. Moral of the story: real love is built on character, not comfort. Comment. True love, if you believe love is about character, not money. Subscribe for more powerful stories about love, courage, and life lessons.